Good to have you with us for 4 o'clock on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence. And of course, we have a lot to get to, including the latest on the global trade war.
Its financial impact here in Indiana. We've got new information on that, along with the extreme measures Apple is now taking to keep the price of an iPhone down. Also, if you've been watching Channel 13 WTHR the last few minutes, you've been watching breaking news coverage of that helicopter that crashed into the Hudson River. We are continuing to monitor that story, and we're going to get much more on that as new information comes in. But first, the future of serving and protecting Indianapolis. Today, IMPD announced the launch of a new 5-year plan.
And this is something that Chief Chris Bailey says he has been working on, and it's been in the works for a while. Our Marina Silva is in studio, and she's here to explain how you can also share your input.
Well, they've been talking about it for years. It's a $237,000 project. Now, Chief Bailey calls this one of his priorities. The department has hired Taylor Advising, a local company, to put together this plan, and it's going to move pretty fast. Vision, goals, and a map. That's how Chief Chris Bailey describes the new strategic plan for IMPD.
Every successful business, organization, and yes, even law enforcement agencies need a strategic plan to stay focused, accountable, and effective.
IMPD has brought in an Indy-based company, Taylor Advising, to help put together the final plan.
Our role is not to write the content of the plan, but to create space for input.
According to Chief Bailey, this plan is meant to guide the future of IMPD over the next 5 years and give them goals to meet while addressing the need of both officers and Hoosiers. Now, outside of the day-to-day challenges like fighting violent crime, Chief Bailey says the biggest challenge facing the department, officer recruitment and retention.
But we need more officers coming in from the beginning in order to do the things we want to do. If we continue to lose, then we're going to have to start talking about what services we cut.
The department currently has 1,450 officers. He says they're budgeted for 1,743.
If not for that budgeted number, we would not be able to police our streets adequately every single shift.
It's not just community members participating in the survey, it's officers too.
And I've heard you say you feel unheard by your leadership, by the public, by elected officials. This is your opportunity to speak up and have a voice. Your experience, ideas, and frontline perspective are essential to shaping the department's future.
The plan will roll out soon, as today marks the first day the survey is open. Then, in June, Taylor Advising will collect all the input, and in November, it'll share a first draft of the plan for public review. Then, in January of next year, IMPD will announce and implement the final strategic plan. And as I mentioned, the survey is live already. Just type in impdstrategicplan.indy.gov and it'll take you right to it. You can just pick the language that you want. Now, I already did it, so it only takes less than 15 to 20 minutes. So it's anonymous. So whatever you put, it's not going to be tied back to you.
Okay. And they obviously need to know and want to know what the community wants. This is your chance to weigh in and tell them.
Marina Silva reporting this afternoon. Thank you so much. On to more news now. A sentencing hearing ended today with an Indianapolis woman being taken to jail for causing 2 deadly crashes almost 3 years ago.
This is a case we've been covering very closely. Kelly Anderson received the maximum 3-year sentence under the plea deal for reckless homicide, but she's already served all but 84 days of that while on home detention since she was arrested. Anderson knew that she suffered from seizures but continued to drive. She apparently passed out behind the wheel, driving onto the sidewalk and killing Dr. Brian Dillman near 49th and Meridian Street back in May of 2022.
Less than a month later, Anderson slammed into several cars stopped at the light at 52nd and Keystone. Kiana Burns was killed.
I take full and unequivocal accountability for the irreversible pain, loss, and trauma I have caused your families. This tragedy has shattered lives. It has changed the trajectory of your families forever, and I am painfully aware that it is because of my actions.
Anderson will serve 3 years supervised probation when she is released from jail. Her driver's license is suspended for at least 10 years.
This has impacted so many people. The sentence today brings to a close 2 cases.
And it deeply impacted the 2 families who lost loved ones. Anne-Marie Tiernan is back from court and continues our coverage today.
Well, the losses are significant to those families. It's also significant to our community. I mean, key members of our community. We lost a distinguished ER doctor, a father and a husband in Brian Dillman. He was 49 years old. He was just walking along the sidewalk in 49th and Meridian near his home when Anderson left the road, hit a utility pole, and hit him on the sidewalk. It was just 21 days later that we lost this young mother of 4, Kiana Burns. She was 28. Anderson hit her at 68 miles an hour along Keystone Avenue, killing her in that crash. Combined, 5 children lost a parent, and they have spent the last 3 years grieving and coping as best as they can. The families now have a very clear focus on the children of these 2 parents and the future.
My focus is the kids and getting them through all of this, and they're still struggling. You know, the 2 oldest ones are really still struggling. So that's my focus, and that's what we'll take care of them and move forward. And this day is a good day because now we can focus on the future and move forward.
Today in court there in the green sweater, you can see that's Dr. Dillman's daughter. She was a freshman when this happened, and she went to the crime scene and she saw that, and she testified in court today that that is an image that's burned in her mind. She is now ready to graduate high school next month. She's going to be going to her dream college in the fall. She is very driven, and she told the court today that she is working every single day to make her dad proud. And there's no doubt that he would be if he saw her poise and her preparation today. And we have more of what she had to say in court today as our coverage continues ahead at 5. But just really, really tough. She wore her signature yellow ribbon in her hair. She's been wearing that all the time to court. She wore it to her dad's funeral and his service. And that is a symbol, she says, of life before.
Well,
with Dad.
Okay.
all parties have kind of been in limbo until today. Hopefully this
Right.
provides some sense of closure.
Well, all those court dates, all
Yeah.
that stuff, and
Yep.
it's now behind
Yeah.
him.
All right.
Yeah.
Look forward to more coming up at 5. Thanks, Ian. That right there is a protest at the sample gates of IU today involving graduate workers. This was in response to a number of IU student visas being revoked. Demonstrators are asking the university to provide emergency academic leave and a way for students with revoked visas to complete their degrees. The Indiana Daily Student newspaper down there in Bloomington says the university is responding on a case-by-case basis and working to help students as much as they can.
Let's turn to weather now. Rob has been tracking this beautiful day. No
Oh,
complaints
yeah.
on our end, Rob.
It does look pretty nice. Temperatures have been pretty warm, depending on where you are. Take a look. It's almost 70 in Bloomington. Areas to the south have really warmed up. We're in the upper 60s there, 68 for Bedford. But look at Muncie at 53, Lafayette at 54. A little bit of a front sitting across the area. We're stuck in the middle here, 61. I've also been watching the radar. Sean earlier in the day was telling you about these showers and storms that may pop up farther to the south, and here they are right on schedule. They are a little farther to the south, enough that I don't know that we'll see too terribly much from this, but any of those that do pop up have been triggering a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Those should stay out of our hair for the next several hours, but we'll keep an eye on the radar. In the meantime, your next several hours, a northwest wind's going to start to kick in, and that's going to help to keep our temperatures on the cooler side for the next 24 hours. So once the temperatures drop, I don't know that they'll be able to rebound as much tomorrow. We do expect the clouds to stay with us during the overnight. Your low temperatures tonight for all of the gardeners out there should stay above freezing. Not too terribly worried about any patchy frost, as we do expect to have some clouds in place for the early part of the day. But the temperatures aren't going to be able to warm up quite as much for tomorrow. Part of the reason why is we've got those north winds that are going to stay with us. You'll have the clouds in place for the early part of the day, but for the second half of the day, we are expecting some sunshine. Speaking of sunshine, I've got a lot more in the forecast for the weekend. We're always looking ahead to the weekend. Weekend looks pretty good. I also have some rain chances to talk about. I'll talk about when those arrive coming up.